What's up, brothers and sisters in the Lord? I hope you're all doing well through the grace and mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Joseph, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you a couple of revelation that a brother called Brother Daniel sent in. Now, this brother has once shared a vision on this channel before, which really helped a lot of people. Now, I want you to listen to this message of the brother because based on the information he shared, this brother claimed that there's going to be a great down, and then also there's going to be scarcity of supplies, resources, and food items or foodstuff are going to be very expensive. He also made mention that he saw people that were lined up taking the chip, and what happened to them after they took the chip was very terrible. There are very vital information that Brother Daniel shared in his message, which I want you to listen, because we all do not want to fall into the trap of the devil. Whatever the devil is planning ahead of us, God has already revealed to us, and all we need to do is to pray, seek discernment from the Lord, and confirm the truth of this message. Now, please give me some few seconds to let you know this. If you are not really interested, you can skip the video ahead. By the grace of God, it is part of our ministry as Great Miracles Avenue to go out there to spread the message of salvation and repentance. Those of you that have been following us for some time now, you notice that we've been to so many countries. We've been to Ghana, we've been to Kenya, we've been to South Africa, we've been to the United States, and then the UK. Now, our next country that we want to go based on the instructions that God has given is Nigeria. Okay, so if you want to physically volunteer to join us, go to Nigeria to preach the gospel, just pick up my email address and send in your details. Now, during our evangelism in Nigeria, we would want to share food items, clothing, health facilities for those that are in need. If you're someone that loves to support God's work, please feel free to check out the description section of the video. There's a link there where you can actually visit the link to donate whatever amount that you want to use to support God's work. And I strongly believe that this is really going to help and equip us so that when we go out there, we'll be able to show love, show care to those people that are lost. And I know God is richly going to bless you. For those that have contributed, for those that have donated in the past, we are still in prayer for you that whatever that you've given out, God will reward you abundantly and help you grow and protect your family. All right, so thank you very much, and please pay attention as I play out Brother Daniel's message to you. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description section where you can follow him because he has a lot of important messages there. God bless you.
Hi. I had no intentions to do another video. Actually, I did, but then I ended up changing my mind. It's been wrapped around with, life, and been tired, and if I'm doing a video, I want to be not a hypocrite, I want to be living righteously. Not saying I haven't been, but it's always an ongoing progress. I wanted to feel more holy, and then I also felt like there wasn't much time left. I wasn't sure if the video was going to be out, and I wanted to do it correctly. But last night, the Lord told me to do a video, and I'm a truck driver, so if the scenery, I'm in the bunker in my truck, so I drive cross country, and I deliver loads, goods, and stuff. So sorry with the scenery, but Joseph, keep up the good work on spreading the good news of God's kingdom through other brothers and sisters' testimony and experience with visions and dreams. What I'm about to tell you today is the dreams and visions of what's about to take place here, right? And I'm going to let you know what it's going to be like for the Christians that decide to stand strong and firm to the very, very end. And I'm going to let you know exactly what it's going to look like and what you're going to go through. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, and from what God has told me himself and Yeshua. And there's a lot of it I won't share because I believe it was meant for me. I got a call, so ignore the ring. I don't know who that is. So that, and I'm gonna be explaining some things, not bluntly, just because not to get knocked from the video. So you got to read in between the lines, okay? So I will give hand gestures, sound effects, and I will show a piece of paper with words on there for you guys to read. For the video won't be monetized from my end and from Joseph's end. And I'll do 2 more videos. I have to really force myself to do one more after this one. On the second video is going to be what you need to get, for Christians to get. I am tactic in military and in hand-to-hand combat. I also am a survivalist. I'm a mountain man. I love nature. And I will tell you guys what to get, what to look out for, and what to, expect. All right. So here we go. All right. So before I get lost, I am going to share this. So since the time is at hand now, okay. I would write down the things that are the warnings from the revelations, like the God's wrath on his enemies. And the reason why is because his people is not going to have these devices to keep track on things. We're going to be stranded. Rather, we're locked up, stranded, in the wilderness or in imprisonment, or both, really. So for you to keep the track of the timeline of what's going on, and you need to start memorizing these things. So I'm gonna give you an example, okay? Where do you go? For instance, like God's temple trample it over. So what I have here is it's going to be 42 months. It's God's temple. He will be ruined and be taken over. That's 42 months and 3 years. That's 3 years and 6 months, I believe. So quote me if I'm wrong. I believe I'm doing the math correctly. So then the 2 witnesses will come right after, and they will prophesy for 1,260 days after those 42 months of God's temple being destroyed in Jerusalem. All right, so memorize that. Write it down if you have to. I'll give you another example: the 7 bowls of God's anger, right? Because if you're still in God's standing, if you're still in His good standing while all these things are going on, you're going to know what's taking place, because you just had a forecast from God's word, and you already know what's going to happen. You're going to know the next one. Let's just say the first bowl was given to hurtful ulcers to those that have the mark of the beast. You're going to witness these things, okay? You're going to know what the second bowl is, because you're going to start memorizing these things. I just started working on this, so I'm not perfect. I'm learning just like you are. So I'm just starting this, and it was on my heart to share this. I believe it's important. If if you're fortunate enough, I don't know if I should say fortunate enough, because there's going to be a lot of chaos going on, but if you're fortunate enough to survive long enough to witness these things, and it's highly possible, because Satan is not allowed to take out all of God's people right away when things start, because then the prophecy won't be fulfilled. So he'll start when that mark of the beast, it'll be at the full scale globally. All right. 7 bowls got anger. The trumpets, memorize that. The trumpets. There's 7 trumpets, so make sure you do that one as well, or anything else that will come to your mind regarding what you would need to know during these troubled times. Okay. Now, Which one should I start off first? So in 2000, this is right before the pandemic, and this is when the Lord told me that, well, He showed me and told me. So I was actually sleeping, talking to Him in the vision, and He was showing me how I believe the grid was down because there's no water. He was telling me there's not going to be any more water or food, which I hope that some of you guys are already aware of this already, because we're kind of seeing things taking place that's heading down that route. So when He was telling me this, it was just kind of hard to believe at that time, because I mean, it's America, where we have abundance of, you know, everything. We're so rich here. Even the homeless people here are fully rich compared to other third world countries. So yeah, so I asked the Lord, I was just like, so is it going to come back? You know, the food and water. And in that vision, He showed me what my last stack of water that I had, and I was boiling water too in my apartment. So this other vision too, I might as well say this one because I'm kind of against it. Like, you'll understand why I'm against it. I'm not saying the Lord's wrong, He's right, but you'll understand what I'm about to tell you later on during the video after I tell you. So He told me to stack up on food because it's going to be too expensive. All right, we're not going to be able to afford it. And so this is the crazy one. It's the more I talk about this, the more crazier it's going to get. So this one here, I didn't understand it, but I do now, since the pandemic and everything that's been going on since then. They all of us was like in our residence, but we weren't allowed to leave. It was strange that we weren't allowed to leave. I find that very strange, and it was everybody. And eventually, over a period of time, they rounded everybody up. And rounding us up, I remembered in that vision that there were two lines, and which is crazy. It was a vision that happened in the same neighborhood before I lived there, and I ended up living there. I don't live there no more, and I purposely moved out because of that vision, because I wasn't trying to, you know, be part of that taking place. Not saying it can't somewhere else, but I can only imagine what was happening in that area is happening across the whole U.S. And I'm just assuming, just based off how it happened, what I'm about to explain to you. So there's two lines, all right? So you got one block here, you got the other block here, okay? And it goes as far as your eyes can see. People are lined up from both ends. Every race, age, it don't matter. Occupation, doesn't matter. And you had, I couldn't tell if they're foreign soldiers or not, but they're wearing all black. So they had us all lined up, and the line goes as far as your eyes can see, from going from front to back. Shortly after that, I was. It didn't show it in the vision, but for some reason I knew it. I don't know how, but it was like implanted already. And I refuse to participate in or it could be the and what's crazy is it was strange because I was against the wall, sitting back like I was, you know, just like a homeless person would lean back against the wall and sit down and observe people walking past them back and forth, right? So I was seeing this. This is weird. This is weird. Everyone dropped all at the same time. Whoever participated in dropped at the same time. I'll put it up again just in case if I did it too fast. They all dropped all at the same time. It was very strange. So whoever, and before I tell you more about this, another thing that I find it was strange. I was in the city and I was homeless and I wasn't allowed to do anything. And it didn't show them vision, but I knew that. But it was because I refused something, which I already showed you. And so those people that are driving and walking, oh yeah, I was going to say, it seemed like we were trapped in a city. Not a full city, but like in a small area. Like you weren't allowed to leave. It was very strange to me. It's like a police state type of living that we're in, that we're forced to live in. And people gladly accept it, which is crazy. But back to what I was saying. People that were driving, doing whatever, they crashed. Everything stopped. They all dropped all at the same time. And the guy that dropped, that was the nearest towards me, all right, I got up from the ground and I hovered over him, and when I looked into his eyes were shifting like this. His eyes was open, like they were not dead. These people were not dead, so they're shifting like this. And I'll give you a hint. I believe it's what Elon. I won't say his last name. That's why I need you guys to read between the lines. What the new thing that he has that's going to be forced upon us. So here's another thing. Since I was a kid, like I had like nuclear bomb like dreams, and I didn't even knew what a nuke was or what a bomb was, but I've been having it ever since I was a kid. And the way it explodes, just like how it is, like you would know today, like with atomic bombs. I just want to throw that in. But big events happen, and being trapped we're in facilities. I don't know if it was FEMA or whatever, but we're forced to go. And this is, I think this is part of this. All right. I believe, I could be wrong. So before I even say this, I will never say anything that I'm not sure on, or if the Lord hasn't told me. I will tell you if it's my opinion or whatever, right? Or wherever research I have gathered, I'll tell you. But with those people, when I just told the video, I believe it was this and not the. So, but it is a precursor for the basically upgrade. Yeah, so back to that. So I was really going through it. Like, once all this happens, I didn't have clothes, I didn't have food, no money, no nothing, because I kept, refusing. And the first stardom was this. I was in a warehouse. And well, it seemed like it was a warehouse, some facility. It was a whole bunch of these low budget beds. It wasn't like a full scale bed. It was just like, it was hundreds and hundreds of. And you were forced to be there until They were trying to see if you're sick, and if you were sick and recovered, and if you're cleared, they'll scan you. You're good to go, but you would have to participate in, I wasn't sure, but I'm thinking it was, could be wrong, could be something else. It is some type of participation in something. There's other, I believe they were Christian. I wasn't sure if they are or not, but there's other resistance like me. And they got tired of waiting. They got tired of being hungry, being on that bunk, because they would not let you leave until you participate in, you know what. So I remembered, I was like, I saw a lot of people died. A lot of people died. I remember that. And then the ones that were left, it was the resistance, and there's people like me that gave up, that end up participating. And I remember there was like 2 guys left, and I went to sleep. I remember I woke up and they were gone. I was like, oh. And I know they didn't die. I knew they gave up, because I remember seeing the guy, how stressful he was. He was getting frustrated, and he ended up giving in. And I went to bed, and now he's gone. So I'm assuming that he participated. And then when they they scanned me in to make sure I wasn't sick or anything, and only thing they gave me was a sleeping bag. And they were telling me I wasn't allowed to talk to no one. I couldn't go to no stores. They'll give me instructions on not to do. And I guess they were hoping I will eventually give in by witnessing society, or a fragment of society, of of them living on in life, for me to give in. And I guess I'm just assuming that's what they were hoping for me to give in. So fast forward, I was eventually in locked up. Not like the jails that you know today. It's like a dungeon type of deal. And I was in there for a very, very, very long time. I want to say it's long, but I couldn't keep track of time, let's put it that way. But I do know it was a long time I was in there. And there was no light, there was nothing. And when they did give me food or water, I can tell it was disgusting. I don't know what it was, but more than half the time I didn't eat it. I only ate it when I was starving, and I didn't know what it was because it was so dark in there. And when they eventually took me out, it was soldiers. The soldiers came in and they escorted me out. I went into this room, and this room had 3 gentlemen in there, and they look their nationalities were Eastern descent. I'm not sure where exactly. They're India or Eastern descent. It's one of the two. I'm not gay or nothing, but they're the 3 guys were, they were handsome looking, very cleaned up. They look like models. And I went in there in that room with those 3 guys, and they were telling me, how would you like to have your own apartment, give you some clothes, some fresh food, and so forth, right? But the only thing that you have to do, you have to take this. And I remember telling, and I in that vision, I didn't, or dream, it's one or the other. I don't know if it's vision or dream. I want to say it was a dream from God. But I replied to them. I was like, I didn't know what it was. Just letting you know, I wasn't sure if it was them or this. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it has to be them. Has to be at that point. And I told him no. I remember I was like, no, I cannot take it at all. I'm a Christian. And one of the 3 guys said, you don't want to be a Christian right now. We are persecuting Christians. But I told him, but I'm a Christian. He looked at that guard and went like this. And they put me right back in that dungeon. Or whatever it was. But all I know, it was just all brick and concrete. And it was dark. And I didn't see light of day. Alright, and that was the end of that. I remember this one. I was driving. This is the crazy thing. So, I've only been a truck driver for like 3 years and a half. And I never had intention to be a truck driver. I was always against it, by the way. But for many years, I had dreams and visions of me being a truck driver. And at least I thought it was someone else. I was just seeing the eyes of through someone else as a truck driver, you know. But I've seen disasters driving, like weather conditions, like the strangest phenomenons going on with the weather while I was driving, like devastating stuff. But I was protected during those events. I didn't understand that either. It was very strange to me. The reason why I'm mentioning truck driver stuff, because this one vision, I was in the truck in the grid. It happened. My truck just stopped, and everyone else's vehicle stopped all at the same time. And I had to walk home, and it took forever. It took a long time. I think it took like a day. And it ended up, I remember walking at night, and I saw my apartment. It was the same one that was in the other vision, by the way. When they were rounding people up. So I got to my apartment, and it was broken into. And I was angry because I was so thirsty and hungry. I ran in there because my porch had a big old window door, so that was broken into. So I went through there, and I ran in there because I was just like, I didn't care about my stuff. I cared about the food and water. And I seen some like homeless people there with the belly full, knocked out, you know, in my living room, and I was angry. I remember I picked up one of them. I picked him up, and I was just like, how could you? And then I was just like, he was just trying to survive, you know. And I put him down, and I was just so tired and sore from the walk, from the grid being off. And I literally laid down right next to him and went to sleep, which is crazy. And that was the end of the dream there. There's some crazy parts here. Here we go. So the invasion, all right. I'm gonna give you two of them. All right. The Lord just told me so much things before it happens. All right. So I'm gonna say this. I remember that on the TV, some official said that as of right now, all banks and businesses are permanently closed. And from then on, people were getting scared and people were going crazy. And people were freaking out. And they were trying to leave, like the city, like trying to go to nature before it was too late. They were freaking out, not just because of the bank and stuff. It was something else on top of that that was real serious. I don't know what it was, but they were really freaked out. And they didn't have time to gather their stuff to leave, their go bags or bug out bags. Even preppers, I've seen preppers, they weren't even prepared for this. And you call them preppers and they weren't prepared. It came so random. They only had time to leave for whatever clothes you had on to leave. And just let you know, I wear the same thing every day because of these visions and dreams. Whatever you're wearing at the time when this happens, that's all you're going to be having for a very long time, and probably be the last clothes you have until you die. So I that's why I'm gonna give the other video of instructions of what to buy, what to wear, and stuff. But make sure, I'll say this now, just in case I can't put this other video on after I do this video. Make sure you have very good, high quality of boots. You're going to be walking everywhere. Get some insoles, good insoles along with your boots. High quality boots. And just because they're high quality doesn't mean they're super expensive. Because you can buy very expensive shoes and they can be crappy shoes and not last long. Okay? So make sure you check the reviews on the boots before you buy them. You need a forever belt. I gave it a name. I call it forever belt because it's literally a belt that will last you forever. And it's this. I can't really see. Oh. It's this right here. This is a forever belt. This is mid-thick, and I have a really thick one. Because the belts they make nowadays, they break really easy. Okay. The quality of the pants, make sure it's good quality. You know, because like I said, whatever you're wearing, that's it. Alright? Always have your bug out bag with you at all times. Okay, back to the visions and dreams. So yeah, there's other dreams and vision I'm not allowed to share because the Lord told me to. Because it's relating to me, and what's about to come with me personally. So another thing is, when this invasion happened, this is crazy. Look, so the one I'm not supposed to tell you, I'm gonna tell you part of it. The rest I can't. So I'm just gonna say this. There was so much chaos. Alright? If you think that you're gonna fight or run away or escape this, you ain't. Unless you go ahead of time before it happens into nature, just like the Bible said to do when you see these signs. Alright? Matthew chapter 24, and which this prophecy is about to happen here in Jeremiah 50 and 51, because all the key players in Jeremiah chapter 50 and 51 is in place right now. I won't go in details about it, but it's in place right now as we speak, and it's about to happen. It's going to be a bloodbath in the United States very shortly. It won't be just the United States, it will be other countries, but the United States and Israel will be the main ones. They're going to wipe off the map. I'm just letting you know that right now. So back to what I saw, it was complete horror and chaos. I'm talking about not just like bullets flying and invasions, but bombs. Everything was going crazy, left to right. You're going to keep running and not know where to run because it was that much chaos. And just letting you know, I found this strange in a dream that I wasn't surprised when it happened, but I was surprised on the way it happened, because at first you don't see the troops coming in, flying down or anything like that, like parachuting down. It was as if they're already here. And I'm going to get back to you on that, because they are. I've seen Russian soldiers. I believe they were Russian. There's a European descent, and the only enemies right now that are European descent is Russia. So But there was the Russian soldiers, and the population was just wiped out, and there's all these dead bodies. And I was seeing them picking them up. They ran out of coffins, and usually the coffin can fit 5 people. These plastic coffins that they have, they ran out, so they dig this enormous ditch. They had a crane to come in, and with a machine crane to come in and dig, and they had to toss the dead bodies of Americans in that ditch. And I can see the gruesome look on their face when they're doing it, like they're going to throw up from the Russian soldiers. That is, it was a lot. It was I want to say almost everybody in the United States. Like I wish I was lying, like, or I wish I was crazy. I wish the Lord didn't show me this, but this is what He showed. There's so much He showed, so I'm trying to remember the most important ones that be important. Nukes, yes. I seen people and me involved on the impact, the aftermath of the nukes, from the nuclear fallout. If you don't know what nuclear fallout is, the aftermath from the nuke. So if you're close enough, there's fallout, and we're impacted from fallout. So my hair was starting to fall out and stuff. And then check this out. There are some states right now, you can look up their bills, right, that the governor has approved for respiration on the citizens that are victims of a nuclear attack. Just saying. So those states that have those bills, those are the states that are going to be struck with nukes. They already know what's going to happen. The stage is already set. They already know what's going to happen. So another thing is, the Lord also gave me a dream on the president of our country, Russia, Ukraine, and China. And they're all gathering up, drinking, having an amazing time. So everything that's going on is an act. It's for an agenda. They're just pretending like they want to do this, and it's all been instructed for them to do this. So what's crazy is this. Shortly after that, I want to say maybe a couple weeks after I seen that vision, I saw a video of them doing it without the alcohol, without all that. But the only thing that was different about it, they all came out the room. And usually when they and this is 2023, by the way, last year. Usually when they have meetings, important meetings like that, especially if they're meeting up, I mean, these are leaders, right? The world knows. They give an announcement, hey, okay, they're meeting. There was no announcement on this. This is kept secret. But there was a short video. You can try to look this up. How they all went out that same room laughing. And then when they noticed that the camera was running, then they got serious. Oh, time to, get back to the script. So I've seen that. And then I remember seeing Lewinsky looked at the camera straight on with an angry face. And I saw a body double of him from the back that went out that same room. That was strange. That was strange. So it was like 2 of them. Alright, so don't think that this is all by random with this war. All these countries have this #1 goal, is that the World War III, in order for to roll out that red carpet for the Antichrist, all right? Because they're all going to give up that kingdom, all right? Which reminds me of this is the 10 BRIC nations. They're having. I think it's just, I believe this is the last meeting that's taking place. It's today or the next few days. They're taking place, and it's going to wrap it up. And it's going to be the main India and a few others that are really important for the 10 BRIC nations, right? And this is a prophecy. So pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. So this is prophecy I'm about to tell you. What's about to take place, they're going to wrap this up. These are the nations that's going to take down, they're going to team up together to take down Israel and the Mystery of Babylon, which is the United States. So I'll read it to you right now. Okay, here we go. And this is going to be Revelation 17, verse 8 to 11, I believe. No, to 14. So, yeah, Revelation 17, 8 to 14. I could be wrong, but here we go. The wild beast that you saw is not yet. It's about to ascend to the abyss. And it's go off onto destruction. And the inhabitants of the earth, those whose name was not have been written in the scroll of life, was founding of the world, will be amazed when they see how the wild beast was, but is not yet, will be present. This calls for mind that has wisdom. The 7 heads means 7 mountains, where the woman sits on top. And there were 7 kings, the 5 fallen, one is, and the other has not yet arrived. But when he does arrive, he must remain in a short while. And the wild beast that was, but is not. It is also an eighth king, but it springs from the 7th, and it goes off into destruction. The 10 horns that you saw mean 10 kings, who have not yet received the kingdom, but do receive authority as kings for 1 hour with the wild beast. These have one thought, so they give their power and authority to the wild beast. These will battle with the Lamb, but because he is Lord of lords and Kings of kings, the Lamb will conquer them. Also those with him also are called and chosen, and faithful will do so. I believe that was the one too. Oh man, let me go back. I'm so sorry. Let me go back. So chapter 17, verse 1 to 6. So one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came to me, and come, will show you the judgment of the great prostitute who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed sexual immorality, the earth's inhabitants, and who's drunk with the wine of her sexual immorality. And he carried me away in the power of the Spirit in the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet-colored wild beast that was full of blasphemy names on it, that had 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman who was clothed in purple, scarlet, and was adorned in gold and precious stones and pearls, and she had her hand a golden cup that was full of disgusting things, unclean things of her sexual immorality. This is talking about the Mystery of Babylon. On her forehead was written the names of the Mystery of Babylon the Great, the mother of the prostitutes, and the disgusting things of the earth. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the holy ones, and with the blood of the witness of Yeshua. So I mean, both of those in prophecy. So those things are about to take place here. Well, the 10 kings, which is the 10 brick nations. All right. So if you do research on the 10 brick nations and how they're against the U.S., it's not just because of the currency of the U.S. dollar. It's beyond that. It's a complete takeover. It's war. All right. How do you take over an economy or shut down a kingdom? You have to go to war in order to do that. If you want to tear down the old world and build a new one, you have to go to war, and that's what's taking place, is war. All right. So I'm gonna tell you, when I witness in these dreams and visions for Christians, there wasn't many Christians standing that stand in faith with the Lord. From what I was seeing, a lot of them have gave up or welcome to the pleasures of what Satan has to offer in this new world order. Right? So I'll give you some tips on what to go through and what you're going to have to go through. It's already going to be difficult to pray with the Lord in living in these conditions that's about to happen. So it's going to be harder. So we have to be more strong. No matter what happens, we have to stay strong and have faith and rely on Him. Even though we see in our own eyes it's horrible, but just know at the end, it's going to be worth it. You're going to have that crown. Do not fear death of persecution or being kicked out of society or any other repercussions that come along with it, because my mouth is so dry, so it's very difficult for me to speak. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so don't worry about the repercussions. Eventually, while you're starving, you're going to be fed. You're going to be in prison, and from what I went from the dreams and visions, those that survived and didn't hit with the persecution yet, but were incarcerated from denying the mark, or were eventually set free because God's anger, the destruction came on His enemies. So during that time frame, you're going to be set free. All right, you're going to have angels that's going to be guiding you and feeding you. I remembered seeing one vision where they actually did try to. It was a small group of Christians that came, and I remember we're in this city. It was in a different country, by the way. It wasn't even the United States. I don't know how I know, but it looked like it, and I just knew. And I remember, and I'm not sure if that was me or I was just seeing some Christians in there. And I seen them about to be murdered from the world government, and the angels came out of nowhere and destroyed them. I'm just letting you know, just destroyed them. So all I'm trying to say is just have faith. You're going to get beaten. You're going to get tortured. You're going to get sick. You're going to get cold. You're going to get dehydrated. You're going to deal with heat exhaustion. We're going to go through from what Paul went through, what Job went through, and what Peter went through. We're going to be experiencing this, and probably worse than them, to be honest. Besides Paul, we're going to be looking like Paul. I'll take that back. We're going to be looking like Paul, to be honest. If you read up on Paul, okay, that's exactly what we're going to be going through. All right, and most people are not built to do it. I'm just being honest. Like, from what I witnessed in my lifetime, I don't. It takes someone special to go through that, and you really have to have a relationship with the Lord in order to do that. I'm just letting you know, and a strong one, because last year I went through it bad. Bad, and I even questioned God, because I was just like, I'm doing almost everything right, and I just didn't understand when I was being attacked, where I was being attacked. And I'm just letting you know, don't think that God turned on you when you're going through he didn't turn on you. He's allowing this to happen. We are obligated to go through this struggle here on this sinful earth that's influenced by Satan and controlled by Satan. All right. So you are no part of the world. The world is your enemy. Okay? Because you're no part of the world. So it's only right that you're going to struggle. I'm already struggling by doing this already. And in reality, that's my training for what's about to come. Like now. Like I already know. So I'm already working my way training for it. So I pray every day, like real deep prayer on preparing myself for what's to come, because I already know. Who knows? I might die right away. I might not have to experience none of this. But if I do, guess what? I'm going to have to be prepared. All the guns in the world and stuff is not going to save you. I'm just letting you know. And just because you're walking with Christ doesn't mean that your sister or mother or wife or daughter won't get raped, because it happens. Doesn't mean that Christians don't get murdered or won't get tortured. So get these thoughts out of your mind. You're going to have to go through it. And you have to have a form of protection. And I would buy it now. You know, something like this. I am not encouraging to promote violence or nothing. But as I remember, the angel came to me during the pandemic, and I remember I sold and gave away my protection. And when the angel told me to get it, I didn't understand it, because since the pandemic, the Lord has showed me so many visions and dreams, and every now and then the angels have been telling me things before it happens, and it comes true right away. And it told me I needed protection. So I'll share some scriptures regarding, because there's a lot of Christians that don't believe that having protection is a sin or something. But there's no harm in protecting yourself and others. You're not sinning in that way whatsoever. Murder, that's a different story, but protecting yourself is completely different. Right? So I'll read this to you. This is in Luke 22. I'll wrap this up here. Luke 22. So hungry. Luke 22. Alright, so this is Yeshua. Alright? Yeshua Christ. And he, I believe it was Simon or Peter. Alright, so I'm going to read this. This is Luke 22, verse 36 to 38. Then he said to them, "But now let the one who has money bag take it, likewise a food pouch. And let the one who has no sword sell his outer garment and buy one. For I tell you that what is written must be accomplished in me. Namely, he was counted with lawless ones. For this is being fulfilled concerning me." Then they said, "Lord, look, here are 2 swords." He said to them, and Yeshua said, "That is enough." He sold a garment in for 2 swords. All right. The night of, and that was Yeshua telling his disciples to get protection. Back then, you know, they didn't have advanced weapons like we do now. They had, you know, swords. He told them to get sword. So, on his last night, all right, Yeshua's last night, when he was being betrayed by Judas, his disciples struck one of the soldiers. And here it is, the same chapter, chapter 22, verse 47 to 50. While he was still speaking, look, a crowd, a man called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. And he approached Yeshua to kiss him. But Yeshua said to him, "Judas, are you betraying me, the Son of Man, with a kiss?" When those around him saw that he was going to happen, they said, "Lord, should we strike him with a sword?" One of them even struck the slave with the high priest, taking off his right ear. But in reply, Yeshua said, "That is enough." And he touched the ear and healed him. So, I just want to share that, because there's a lot of evil in this world, and especially if you're a father or a big brother, or you know, or if you see another sister in Christ that's in need, to protect. There's nothing wrong with that. Because when the grid is down, it's going to get crazy. I mean, from what I've seen, I left so much stuff out. I'll be doing this video for like 5 hours if I told you everything. But it's when I mean, you ever seen the movie The Purge? It's gonna make it look like a joke. It's gonna make The Purge look like a joke. So, your main focus right now is building that relationship with the Lord, and you need to put yourself in the shoes already, as if it's already happening, as you're going through it. And you need to tell the Lord, please help me to go through this before it happens. Before all these things happen, help me. Because a lot of people, they believe that they're not going to take the mark. They're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. But when the time comes, it could be a different story. So never say that you're not going to not have faith, you're not going to take the mark, because you haven't been tested on that level yet. Until you are tested to not take the mark, not lose faith, then you can say it once you're tested. But you have to go through it first. Everyone thinks they can go through it when times are good, when they're going through everything that's great. But it's when the time comes, we'll see. We'll see when the gun is into your head or your family's head. And you see the tortures, witnessing other Christians that refuse, and you're in line to take it. And you're like, oh man, let me get on this line to take it. Yeah, because you're terrified. They might have an AI robot torturing humans to scare us to take it. They might have a creature. They might feed us to lions or whatever, like back in the ancient days when the Romans were doing that. So just think. You're going to go through these things. Whether you like it or not, your faith will be tested. I really hope this helped. Joseph, keep up the good work. And safe travels to California. There's a lot of things about to take place. I wouldn't want to step foot in the United States, but if God's calling you, if Yahweh's calling you to go there, then go ahead and do His will, preaching the good news of this kingdom. All right, see you guys.